Marvel Studios made some controversial choices with several characters in phases 4 and 5 of the MCU, so these heroes deserve redemption in Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars more than anyone else. In the wake of Avengers Endgame and the Infinity Saga's conclusion, Marvel hit a bit of a lull, with the expansion into long-form projects on Disney+, meaning Marvel's crew was stretched thinner. This drop in quality meant several brilliant MCU characters have recently been neglected and misused. But Marvel now has the perfect chance to solve this. At the end of March, Marvel Studios confirmed the first 27 actors that have been cast in Avengers Doomsday, but this likely isn't the full lineup, as some key MCU stars haven't yet been mentioned. This includes some iconic characters that Marvel has recently failed, as some have been the subject of disappointing or poorly received projects, such as Secret Invasion, Thor Love and Thunder, The Marvels and Ant-Man, and The Wasp: Quantumania. The Russo brothers' upcoming crossover movies can finally give these characters redemption in the next MCU's phase. Brie Larson first showed up as Carol Danvers in Captain Marvel back in 2019. Her powers came from the Space Stone, which made her one of the strongest and most important heroes in the MCU. She played a big role in helping take down Thanos in Avengers Endgame, but since then, she hasn't really been given much to do. Since her debut, Larson has faced a lot of unnecessary hate, mostly because she was the MCU's first female lead. And sadly, that criticism has stuck around during the multiverse saga. So far, she hasn't been confirmed for Avengers Doomsday. But after the Marvels in 2023, where she finally settled on Earth and grew close to Kamala Khan and Monica Rambeau, it would totally make sense for her to return in the next phase. Even though The Marvels was liked by many fans, it still ended up being the MCU's lowest-earning movie. That might have made Marvel rethink her future. But Carol Danvers is one of the most powerful heroes they've got, so it'd be awesome to see her finally get the spotlight she deserves. When Ant-Man came out in 2015, and again with the sequel in 2018, it felt like a breath of fresh air after the big, intense Avengers movies. Scott Lang brought humor, heart, and a more grounded feel to the MCU. But then came Quantumania in 2023, and things just didn't click. The movie tried to go too big, too fast. It lost the charm and street-level vibe that made Ant-Man special in the first place. Luckily, Paul Rudd is confirmed to return in Avengers Doomsday, which means Scott Lang might finally get the comeback he deserves. Ant-Man has been a fan favorite for years, so it was kind of disappointing to see him get sidelined by a messy storyline. And with Evangeline Lilly stepping away from acting, Scott's relationship with Hope Van Dyne might not even be part of the story anymore. Still, he knows more about the multiverse than most heroes. He helped save the world in Endgame, after all. So in Doomsday, there's a real chance for Scott Lang to return to his roots and remind everyone why they loved Ant-Man in the first place. Bruce Banner hasn't had a solo movie since The Incredible Hulk in 2008, mostly because of some rights issues between Marvel and Universal. But even without his own film, Mark Ruffalo's Hulk has still been a big part of the MCU. The problem is, he's been getting weaker over time. Back in the Avengers, Hulk was this unstoppable force. But now, we've got Smart Hulk, who's more brains than brawn, and it feels like the rage-filled monster we all knew has been nerfed. Mark Ruffalo hasn't been confirmed yet for Avengers Doomsday, but if he does return, it would be amazing to see a more savage, powerful Hulk again. Since a solo movie isn't likely to happen anytime soon, this might be the best shot to give Bruce Banner the spotlight he deserves. Phase 4 didn't really do justice to Hulk, so if Marvel wants to bring him back as one of the heavy hitters in the next phase, now's the perfect time. Thor's been around since the early days of the MCU, first appearing in 2011, and then helping form the original Avengers team in 2012. But even after all this time, Marvel still hasn't fully nailed his character. At first, Thor had this serious, Shakespeare-style vibe, which didn't really click for everyone. Then Thor Ragnarok came in and changed everything, mixing action and comedy in a way that really worked. But then, Thor Love and Thunder pushed that comedy way too far, and a lot of fans felt like he went from powerful god to full-on joke. The good news? Chris Hemsworth is officially coming back for Avengers Doomsday, which means Thor might finally get the redemption he deserves. Love and Thunder ended with him taking care of Gorr's daughter, Love, so there's a chance we'll see them both again, maybe even fighting side by side. And after everything Thor went through in Infinity War and Endgame, it would be great to see his emotional journey get some proper closure. Thor deserves better than to end on a low note, so let's hope Doomsday gives him the justice fans have been waiting for. When Secret Invasion was first announced, it felt like a big moment for Nick Fury. After all these years in the background, he was finally getting a solo story, one based on one of Marvel's biggest comic events. But in the end, the show just didn't deliver. Instead of a massive, global Skrull invasion involving tons of heroes like in the comics, we got a small-scale, grounded story that felt kind of slow. And sadly, Fury didn't really grow or change by the end of it. For a character as legendary as him, that was a big letdown. Nick Fury's been part of the MCU since the very beginning, literally showing up in the post-credits scene of Iron Man back in 2008. He brought the Avengers together, guided them in Age of Ultron, and played a huge role in shaping the MCU. So yeah, it would be awesome to see Samuel L. Jackson come back in Avengers, Doomsday, or Secret Wars, and this time, actually make an impact. After Secret Invasion and the Marvels didn't give him much to work with, Fury deserves one final shot to remind everyone why he's the boss. Even though Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness seemed to end Wanda Maximoff's journey with her tragic demise, fans are still holding out hope for her return. There's been plenty of speculation that Scarlet Witch isn't really gone for good, and honestly, it makes sense. Wanda's one of the most powerful characters in the MCU, and after WandaVision and that iconic Agatha All Along song, she became one of the most beloved heroes. If Marvel wants to bring her back, the next phase could be the perfect time to do it. In the comics, Wanda and her twin brother Pietro are the children of Eric Lanshair, aka Magneto, something fans have wanted to see explored on screen for ages. Now, with Ian McKellen returning as Magneto in Avengers Doomsday, it could be the perfect chance for Wanda to reunite with her father, and maybe even her brother, whether it's Aaron Taylor Johnson or Evan Peters, if the multiverse brings them together. The big question is whether Wanda will come back as the hero we once knew, or if she'll remain the villain she became in Multiverse of Madness. Either way, her return could add a huge twist to the MCU. Eternals may not have been a fan favorite when it dropped in 2021, earning some of the lowest ratings in MCU history. But while it didn't get the love it deserved at first, it's been gaining more appreciation over time. Unfortunately, despite its cosmic potential, Marvel hasn't really brought the team back into the spotlight. The Eternals made a brief return in the animated What If series, but haven't shown up in live action again. That's a missed opportunity, considering how much rich history, power, and potential their story holds. With the multiverse in full swing, the Eternals could play a huge role in upcoming events, especially when facing threats like Doctor Doom in Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. Ignoring the Eternals now would be a mistake, especially with the team currently off Earth. Captain America: Brave New World revisited Celestial Island, so Doomsday and Secret Wars could be the perfect chance to bring them back into the fold. There's so much room to develop each Eternal and make them a key part of the MCU's future, and maybe even set up a sequel for them down the line. So, with all these characters potentially getting their redemption arcs, Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars could be the perfect chance for Marvel to course correct and bring these heroes back to their best. Whether it's giving characters like Thor, Ant-Man, or the Eternals the spotlight they deserve, the next phase has a lot of promise to make these fan favorites shine again. Let's hope Marvel takes full advantage of this opportunity, and we finally get the storylines we've all been waiting for. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to hit that subscribe button for more insights and updates. See you in the next video.